you're new here, I'm Emily, and today we're going to be making some cookies, except with a bit of a twist because I want to combine two of my favorite things, brown butter and cinnamon, to make some brown butter snickerdoodles. But instead of finding a recipe, I'm going to take a normal recipe for snickerdoodles and make a few changes and substitutions and see how it goes. So let's get started. So before we get on to the brown butter, I'm gonna combine all of my dry ingredients into a bowl. Okay, you're gonna need some flour, some cream of tartar, some baking soda, and some salt. And we're just gonna mix all these together until they're all combined, and then we'll get on to the wet ingredients. To make the brown butter, you're gonna get yourself a saucepan or a pot, whatever you see fit, and then you're gonna add some butter to it, and we're gonna cook this over about medium-ish. Not great at doing this. And then we're just gonna let it melt, stirring occasionally, letting it boil, and then letting all of the milk solids get nice and golden brown. And then once that's done, we'll transfer it to a different bowl so it doesn't burn. Kind of straightforward, kind of not. But what I've learned is that you just have to be patient with this, because the first time I made this, I was a little too worried I was doing it wrong, and my butter did not brown, but we called it brown butter anyways. So once your butter is browned, we will transfer it into a separate bowl so we don't over brown it, which I might have done, but it's okay. So in my opinion, the best way to tell that your butter is browned is when you can start to smell it, as well as the bubbling gets a lot less crazy and it calms down. And it happens pretty quick, so you gotta keep an eye on it. So we're gonna hope this isn't too brown, but I think it'll be fine. So now we have our brown butter in a pot. Definitely should have stirred this a little bit, as a lot of the bits kind of stuck to the bottom. So now I'm gonna transfer it into a bowl. So now that all of our butter has melted, we're gonna add in our sugars. And another thing I'm gonna change from the original Snickerdoodle recipe is I'm gonna add some brown sugar. I think what I'm gonna do is add about 1/3 brown sugar and 2/3 white sugar, and we're gonna see how that turns out. And now we're just gonna mix this all together until everything's combined. I don't know if this is gross or not, but this color and texture just reminds me of applesauce. But it definitely doesn't smell like applesauce. Okay, now that it's all mixed together, we're gonna add in 1 egg. And 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. add in all of our dry ingredients that we mixed earlier. And that's about it. Okay. My arm is tired. Once everything is all mixed together like this, we can plop it into the fridge for about at least I'd say 30 minutes for it all to firm up a bit. So some time has passed. Didn't keep track of how long I left it in the fridge, but now we have our dough and it's very firm and it doesn't stick to your hand anymore. So that means it's time to roll out and bake. So first I preheated my oven to 350 degrees while I do this step so that by the time I'm done rolling out all the dough, my oven should be preheated. So in a small bowl or a little plate, whatever you choose, we're gonna mix together some sugar and some cinnamon. I'm just eyeballing this because it's honestly whatever ratio you prefer. I really like cinnamon, so I might just dump a little extra in there. Looks good to me. And then we're gonna give it a mix. I don't have anything to mix with, so we're just gonna use our cookie scoop that I'm gonna use later. So now we have our cinnamon sugar mixture. And we're gonna roll out little balls of dough. But before I do that, I wanna see how much this cookie scoop is. Not important, but I'm just curious. Maybe I should have floured this, but it's fine. So you don't need a cookie scoop to do this step. You can just use your hands and roll out balls of dough. But for uniform sake, I'm going to use a cookie scoop. And then we got a ball. Roll it in our sugar. And we're going to place it on our cookie sheet. And we're going to repeat that until we have a cookie sheet full of cookie dough. Cookie dough? I guess. So I also made a batch of normal Snickerdoodle dough earlier so that I can compare what I made to what it should taste like and see if it's any better, etc. Just a nice comparison. So I'm going to roll out all the dough. Now that we have all our cookies rolled out, sprinkled with sugar, and flattened out a bit so that they're not super puffy after they're baked, we can stick them in the oven for about 10 minutes or less. I would say since I made mine so small, they might take less than 10 minutes, but just keep an eye on them, take them out when they're golden brown. You know the deal with cookies. Okay, so it's been quite some time later and I'm also back in my room because there's a lot going on in my kitchen right now and it's a little too hard, or too loud I should say, to film this ending. So I have both cookies with me. These are the brown butter ones and these are the normal ones. And so we're gonna try both and see what we think about brown butter snickerdoodles. I think I'll start with the brown butter ones and then we'll try the normal one and see how that goes. It's got a very crunchy edge and a softer, chewier middle, which is really nice. But I think I might have overbaked it a little bit because I prefer a softer cookie. I do think I need more cinnamon. It's a good cookie, but to me it doesn't quite give me the Snickerdoodle vibe, which is kind of the point. It's kind of more of like a really good sugar cookie with a hint of cinnamon. But it's still really good, so you should definitely make these if you want a different kind of sugar cookie. And now we'll try the original and see if that's any better. Definitely overbake these a little. I would say the normal Snickerdoodle cookies, though they are also slightly overbaked, are definitely chewier. There's more chew to it than the other one, and it kind of has like less of a depth of flavor. Like this just feels more like a normal sugar cookie because I definitely did not add enough cinnamon, while the other one feels a little bit more, I don't know how to describe it. There just feels like there's more flavor to the brown butter ones than to the other ones, probably because brown butter, but also the brown sugar I added. Can't tell which one I like more. But because I also just love brown butter, I think I would definitely make these again, but with some tweaks of adding more cinnamon and maybe trying one without brown sugar and seeing if that makes a difference. And definitely also underbaking them. Or like not underbaking, but definitely trying my best not to overbake them so they're much softer and chewier. Like the kind of Snickerdoodles I'm used to. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment below letting me know if you decide to try these and what you think, or if there's anything you would do differently.